Hey everyone, welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's your daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate The Last Jedi one salty minute at a time. I'm Alex Robinson from alexrobinson.fun.
I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
And I'm Liz Whittaker from Movies by Minutes, At Home, to On the Move, coming late August.
All right, we're all looking forward to that. Thanks for coming back, Liz.
Thanks for letting me come back for 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
It's unusual, but we figured, we could bend the rules.
Well, we had that communications disruption at the end of the last episode, so things got a little bit tricky.
Yeah. That can mean only one thing. It's time to talk about minute 117 of The Last Jedi.
Of course.
Minute 117 starts with Hux gasping, long live the supreme leader. And it ends a minute later with Rose begging, don't shoot, it's us. So there you go. So quality. I'm up for audiobook narration or radio dramas. If anyone wants to go to alexrobinson.fun if you need to, if you're looking to hire me. So yes, we start off with Hux in his post choke down.
As I said yesterday, great job going pale and being very kind of
very watery eyes.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So
that's the answer. Yes.
Yeah, we concurred.
Great.
We agreed.
Okay. Cool. Let's find out if it is a yes or no question. So Kylo Ren says, Hux says the Supreme Leader is dead. Kylo says the Supreme Leader is dead.
Yes.
Hux says, long live the Supreme Leader. That would make sense to me if Kylo said his with the uptrill of a question. Like, what do you, the Supreme Leader is dead?
Right. Like,
pretty sure I'm choking you right now.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He just is very flat.
Right.
And so I'm confused.
It's not. I feel like it's a that kind of the Queen is dead, long live the Queen, etc. That seems like it's definitely a trope, and it's a thing that's been in things. I don't know from whence it originates.
Okay.
But it does seem kind of doubly. Doubly. It's in doubly. I can hear it very well. But both of them saying it and then him saying "Long live the Supreme Leader" does seem like it's not. That doesn't seem like the usual way that I hear it. You're right. I concur with you, Alex. Do you have any insight on the King/Queen/Supreme Leader is dead? Long live the King/Queen/Supreme Leader.
I can't think of a specific example, but I feel like it's something maybe like we saw in like Excalibur or like Conan. I feel like it's something like in like medieval or D&D type fantasy settings. So I feel like Game of Thrones, maybe it happened. But I feel like it's usually one person saying the king is dead, and then the crowd going "Long live the king" all in like unison. So
here we go. The king is dead. Long live the king. This article is about the traditional proclamation. For other uses, see the king is dead. The king is dead, long live the king, or simply long live the king, is a traditional proclamation made following the accession of a new monarch in various countries. The seemingly contradictory phrase simultaneously announces the death of the previous monarch and assures the public of continuity by saluting the new monarch. Right, which... So it's where... origins...
Sit, king, sit.
The original phrase was translated from the French, Le roi est mort, vive le roi, which was first declared upon the accession to the French throne of Charles VII, after the death of Charles VI in 1422. But how does it get... sometimes it's the king is dead, long live the queen, vice versa.
Whoever the new person is, yeah.
Right. But it doesn't really have... I don't know. Yeah, like there's no notes as to it being used with saying something twice first, essentially.
Well, they're just repeating it, right?
Yeah, but they don't. The king is dead. Long live the king. That would. So if he was like the supreme leader is dead, if Kylo Ren had just said that, and then Hux had it chokingly said, like, "Long live the Supreme Leader," then
I see.
that would have
You're
made
saying
more sense to me. But for them both to say it, and I think this is what Liz was saying, it seems awkward and weird that they both say it back and then add another one
Right.
into it.
Well,
Or
we're going to
this
find
is
out that
how-
they're a dyad, and that when they do kind of expressions like that,
They're going to share that throne. Or it's like
yeah, always two there.
Hux says it first, and Kylo Ren is like, "Oh no, crap! If he says it first, then I have to say." Long
Right.
live the Supreme Leader,
Ah.
which means that he's the Supreme Leader, not me. So if I
Oh,
say
there
it
you go.
again, then I'll force him into announcing me. See?
So Hux, he really should have said, "The Supreme Leader is dead," while he was being choked, and then Kylo Ren again would have had to keep doing
Yes.
it.
It's
'Cause
like
he couldn't kill Hux because then there's no one.
There's
No one is
to proclaim
confirming.
him.
Yeah, no one is
Right.
confirming his king. Oh wow, this is
it's like a verbal tennis
Complicated.
match or something that he's got to do.
Yeah,
They would
exactly.
see, it's like a showdown, standoff.
yeah. Let's call it a stand down.
Stand down, just like Vader said.
So then we get this. We cut to on Crait, the
Yes.
planet where the rebels are now hiding, and it opens with a very sort of oddly moody shot of General Leia kind of keeping watch at the sandcrawler door.
Yeah, we get a couple of these in a row. I wrote quiet, beautiful paintings. So we get these, a handful of shots in a row.
Yeah, little. It got me thinking, of course, about these kind of scenes take on an added resonance because Carrie Fisher had just passed away and everything. So I was trying to think, and the fact that she does not, they didn't edit the film to have her story resolved in this movie. You know what I mean? They didn't. They kept her for the third one. I was trying to think if there are other examples of them, other franchises using an act, like how long can they avoid facing the fact that one of their actors is no longer around?
I mean, the Fast and the Furious is still pretending that Brian is just like babysitting in the other room.
But he's not in the.
I mean,
it's
spoilers.
Not like they have him.
Spoilers
it's not like they
alert.
have him waving.
Yeah.
You never see him though, right?
I don't. Well, you
Right.
do see him in a movie after he's gone, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or they were only halfway through filming a movie, and so but I think they do like straight up holographic images of him, not just reuse the same like handoff of the lightsaber 17 times because it's all they had.
Right.
So the character is still around, and he occasionally shows up via CGI trickery.
Maybe, yeah, and
Wow.
he's definitely just like always off screen, like babysitting, basically.
Uh-huh.
That would be a
Wow.
fun, if they get stuck in the franchise, they could just kind of see what, because, the 9 movies, they're going to run out of ideas sooner or later, right?
I mean,
they,
no spoilers, but they, this episode of Fast and the Furious is out of this world.
Anyway,
they should just kind of take whatever, cutting room unused footage takes of him and then structure the story around that. Be like, oh, here's part where he, it was like an outtake of something, him goofing on a line or something like that. Just be like, oh, could we use that? And then have that be somebody could then respond and be like, oh, well, what he was saying, that was the riddle of this, and we got to go get this ruby that.
I think they did that with Peter Sellers in one of the Pink Panthers movies.
Oh, could
they one of the last one with Peter Sellers in it was all his parts were from cutting room floors and deleted scenes from the previous movie. They kind of built it around that story. So that might be an example of
there we go.
But anyway, that's a story for another time.
Exactly.
But yes, beautiful shot of Leia and Carrie Fisher. Nice little. I particularly like where her face is. The bottom half of her face is covered, and you just see her eyes, and she's looking.
I love the collar of that coat. Every winter, I'm just like, why don't I have a General Leia coat that I can just put over my face.
Yeah, that should totally be a thing. It's like a built-in scarf kind of.
Yeah, I'm
kind
always
of
trying to do
concept.
it with a scarf, and it's just not the same.
Yeah.
No, you need those rigid collars. Although I'm sure that would come in less handy. You probably fall over a lot because you can't look in front of you.
But then it like folds down, doesn't it? So that it can become like just like a really wide
Like a collar.
collar.
Yeah.
I guess
Like
so.
a really wide Peter Pan collar.
Right.
Yeah, because I think she's wearing the same thing later on, except she just has the collar, flat out.
I want to keep an eye out for it, like accidentally every once in a while just popping back up, like right in her face, just like, oh, no, hang on, and puts it back down. Because it's like, it's got to be so rigid and like spring loaded in order to stay up right where she needs it. So
that's funny because in a way, I almost thought. Sorry, Liz, you go ahead. What
No,
were you
you're
gonna
fine.
say?
Finish with.
I was going to say that that would have been one way around the whole recasting thing, is to have her always wearing like
coat,
collars that go up and all you can see over her eyes.
Yeah.
She becomes Wilson from Home Improvement.
Yeah, totally.
You never see.
Or like
He's just over the fence.
Yeah, Bela Lugosi in
Right.
Plan 9 from Outer Space, where it's just someone else with a cape over their face. The whole.
I'm cold. You guys have to go to Pisana.
Yeah, I'm just staying here babysit with.
Right.
I'm gonna hang out with Brian.
Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, they're both owned by Disney at this point, right?
And Inspector Clouseau.
Yeah. We're here in the deleted scene planet where everyone is just made up of deleted scenes from their previous films. Crystal, we see this cool looking crystal fox.
Yeah.
Like something off of a Yes album cover or something. It looks cool.
It's a Vulptex, plural Vulptices, which made me happy.
Nice.
I do love a good pluralization. And this is where I first started looking for bonus materials and behind the scenes stuff, because I had read
Caves of Crait.
conflicting. Yes, I started here. Everything is well preserved because of the salt. We haven't talked about salt yet. The Vulptices, I had originally, I'm like, oh, they're like weird CGI creatures, and then heard and read several things about how they were puppets and they were actual creations. And then only recently I've found out that they wanted to do them as real creatures. They wanted to put actual animals in costumes with crystals all over them. That looked bad. So they made puppets, and they did some stuff with the puppets, and then they ended up just scanning the puppets into the computer, and the final result of everything that we see on screen is CGI based on the scans of the actual puppets based on the costumes that were supposed to be on the animals, as far as I can tell.
Oh, that's cool.
So they do, I think they did a lot of work of actually putting the puppets out there so you can see what the lights look like, how the crystals fall, stuff like that. And then they redid it in a way that looks, because the way that they move looks, and you can tell that it looks, and often you can't. I'm always amazed, especially Neil Scanlon, who's the creature guy who did most of the work on this, from what I can tell. He's fooled me before. I've seen things that I'm like, oh, that's a dumb CG thing, but it was absolutely animatronic. And so I was willing to believe for a second. I was like, I really think that looks like computer graphics to me, but like if I read that it's, a puppet, I'm all for it. Like that's fantastic. And it turns out it's a little bit of both. So
are you pro Vulptex?
I do like them. I like them in general. I just couldn't, I would have liked them more just for the wow factor of being fooled twice had they been puppets.
I think I think somewhere there is a video I saw of like an Italian greyhound in a costume with spiky things all over it, and that dog did not look happy.
No, yeah, I think that
would almost be like tinsel. It looked, like a Christmas tree,
right?
Like a silver Christmas tree.
And they make such a great noise that I feel like you might not get if there was actual movement on the actual animal.
Hey, take that chandelier down, tie it on the dog, see what happens.
Do you think they're...
That's my Ryan Johnson. No. Neil Scanlon?
Sure.
No, neither one.
Are they soft, do you think? Or are they like, what would they feel like? Would it be like petting like a glass, is it like petting like a tinsel Christmas tree? Or is
I think
it
like
more...
a hedgehog almost.
Yeah, petting a hedgehog, like if you pet it the correct direction, then it's probably kind of just like smooth and almost scaly. But if you pet it going against the bristles, it's very
so almost
pokey.
like a hairbrush, sort of.
Like a lint brush.
Like a lint brush.
Like a lint brush.
Those spiky, those spiky, like that.
Or like the severe tire damage.
I had a pet
like the rental car return.
Yeah.
I would name it severe tire damage.
I'd name mine Avis.
There you go.
Avis. Seems like car rental
Avis
places are generally the only places you see those things these days, isn't it?
No, there's one there's one that I keep seeing that I keep getting worried about. Then I can't. Is it like a medical center or something? I don't know. There's one that I've seen a lot recently, not at a car rental place.
I'm sure there are other places. Just in my sheltered life, I don't see them more. I have some fun facts about Crait. Crait, the day is 27 hours long. So would you say that's a plus or a minus?
Depends. Is it still like a 40-hour work week? Like, do we get
more day off?
Because then theoretically you get, if you're just working 8 hours a day and then it's a 27-hour day, you're getting 3 more hours to yourself, and plus weekends are 6 hours longer. So
that's true. I guess it's better that it's longer.
I don't know.
But you're right. You're probably just more fulfilling it with more junk.
More time to catch up on shows.
There'll be even more streaming.
I'd probably just sleep.
Well, there's going to be a lot more time also because the Crait year is 525 days long. So you're getting like a whole extra 4 months of work out of you per year. So there's that to look forward to. Yeah. The planet, of course, is named Crait, and it orbits a sun also named Crait. I can't tell if that helps our
I'm Crait. This is my son, also named Crait.
It's like George Foreman. He named all the planets are named Crait around this.
Right.
Because I know that's an ongoing debate about whether planets are named after their suns or what.
The Crait debate.
It's the Crait debate.
Now it is.
So yes, there you go. Some fun factoids about Crait.
Are there other planets in the solar system?
You mean the Crait system?
No, ours. Are we?
In ours?
Are we alone?
No, it's just us. We're alone out here.
Well, it depends. What mainstream science calls planets, don't believe that. Go on YouTube, do your own research. But I don't have any information if Crait has any neighbors.
Okay.
It's in the Leia, Princess of Alderaan book. She goes there.
Okay.
Which is how she knows about it to come here. I feel like it was picked partially because it was a dead system. That was off of, it wasn't on any like major trading routes, so the Empire didn't have eyes on it. I think it might be alone.
Oh,
I'm always intrigued when people reveal that they've read any of the Star Wars novels. Can you tell us anything interesting that happened in that particular book?
Holdo uses astrology to fool the Empire.
Astrology?
Yeah, she uses a combination of astrology and real hard science to like, so.
She is such a Libra.
Apparently there's like some way that there's some sort of signature your ship gives off that tells about systems you've been to. I don't know. So if you've been to a system with a certain kind of activity where, for instance, a space station just got blown up, they could say, oh, you were fleeing the scene of that crime because there's this sort of spectral radiation or something.
So it's like forensics, kind of like a CSI.
And so
sort of.
They show back up at Alderaan, and there's an Imperial blockade or something, and they're trying to stop the ship because they came from that system that just blew up. And Holdo is like, "Oh no, we were actually here." Blah 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 blah, and it's plausible because since she's super into astrology, she knows whatever star alignment, something like that.
So because she knows, that's what I was going to say. Like, how does astrology work when you can travel the galaxy? Because then the stars would be in a different position based on what planets you're on. So if that was...
Well, that's why I don't actually write stories, because I'm not good at piecing them together or remembering how other people have constructed them. But it seems much more plausible under the construction of Claudia Gray.
Right.
All right.
It actually makes sense.
Right.
I like getting this little glimpse into this expanded universe. Like, hold it to astrology.
Yeah.
I wonder what that morning, do you think when she was going to crash the ship, she read her thing in the paper and it was like, you will make a great impact on events.
Today will be very impactful for you.
You can make
maneuver
a maneuver
carefully
for success. Yeah.
Don't let C-3PO do your job.
Strangely, that's what my horoscope always says. I'm wondering, maybe I got those mixed up.
Yeah.
Voltices. I had there's a bit of timing question here. What would happen if they had not held the door open? If they hadn't, if they weren't just kind of waiting there with the screen door open, waiting for the Empire to show up, the First Order to show up, or if they had closed it sooner, as soon as they heard the TIE fighters, and then our escaping heroes had been locked out.
Finn and
Rose and Beastie Boy 8.
They'd have to do the secret knock on the door. They've got like a code knock. Because there's probably like person-sized doors too, right? Because there have to be, because that's how in the next minute people run out, right? They don't open the big door again, and they somehow get into the bunkers.
Yeah, there must be.
Yeah, we'll see. There's things coming out from different doors, which I'll have a note about later. But also, so I guess there's probably it's not really one big door; it's a whole bunch of little doors combined. So like,
but doesn't it also have just like regular? Like there's it's like a garage door that has a regular sized door cut into it, where if you just want a person to go out.
Right. I do love this idea though of they've got this giant metal like barrier door, and then just right next to it there's like a little like classic kind of like painted red wooden door with little panes of glass at the top and a little mailbox next to it.
I mean, I work in a warehouse. That's legitimately how we have a giant garage door that a truck can drive through.
Yeah.
And then right next to it is a man door that a person can go through.
Man door.
And then an even smaller door where the mouse comes to work every day and goes in there.
Once again, Zootopia.
That is something, that would be a hard thing to navigate in Star Wars, because there must Wookiees seem like about Wookiees seem about the tallest creature that could comfortably live in a Star Wars world. If you're getting much taller than that, whatever it is going to be, we haven't seen much things. I guess we've seen like hangars and stuff, so maybe there are space stations and stuff. But anyway, yes, it would be tremendously annoying to have to open that giant door every single time you wanted to like go out and get the paper or whatever.
Right, UPS. Like,
yeah.
All right, hang on.
The doors look like giant sand crawlers' feet to me. Like,
yeah, they look like they have treads at the bottom.
Yeah, like they're sand crawlers like hanging from the ceiling the way TIE fighters are supposed to. So, anyway, that's why I like them.
You think the whole base could just get up and drive away?
The whole base is one big sandcrawler. I guess there's no reason they couldn't do that.
That'd be neat.
Yeah. So yes, Finn and Rose and BB-8 come crashing into the hangar there.
Right.
And everyone starts shooting at it, of course. And I don't know why, but for some reason, so we see Leia running with her big floppy collar, and for some reason, her running in that big gown, shooting a gun, looks comical to me. She looks like a chess piece in an Alice in Wonderland story or something, and she's running with the gun. So anyway, and I also think it's funny that, as Carrie Fisher famously, would tell stories about how they forced her to exercise and lose weight and everything, and then she put her in this giant gown where she could have, like, why did she bother?
Yeah. She could have been Jabba the Hutt under there.
Yeah. So
you think that was just for the first one, that then they were like, they used off a little bit. They're just like, oh, we just wanted you to wear this general's
jumpsuit
outfit design, and now just let it relax. It's okay.
I hope so, for her sake.
Right.
Yeah. So there you go. That's all I have for 117.
All right. Me too. Liz, you have anything else for 117?
I wrote multicolored explosions.
Nice.
I think maybe at one point something explodes, and I was like, was that like that stuff the powder you throw in the campfire to make it make pretty colors? Is that where they like?
What is it, like phosphorus or what is that?
Well, it depends on what color you want, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So they were sitting around a campfire beforehand and wanted to make it pretty, and then the ship comes in and it explodes. I don't know. That was
Isn't traditionally the bad guys have green lasers and the good guys have red lasers, right?
Not traditionally, but in Star Wars tradition, yes.
Yeah. That's the only tradition that we care about.
Not human tradition. No, I mean Star Wars tradition.
Like the first Thanksgiving, do they have green lasers?
But it just makes me wonder if that is a conscious thing. Like, is the Emperor like, no, all our lights, everything has to be green, or is it like a side effect of the technology they use? It seems like there would be 1,000 different colors depending on what guns, but anyway.
I would assume it's based on the technology because they're coming from different companies essentially, but I don't know. Are you racking your brain, Liz, to remember if there's any reference to this?
Yeah, I'm thinking about, like, is there something about, like, they're really, like, the Emperor was really trying to harness the weapon power of a kyber crystal, and is that why their weapons energy is all green and the rebels was all red because
they tortured their weapons?
Other reasons.
I think it should be like a moral ring, like a mood ring, but for morals. Like if you're a good guy and you're shooting it, it would shoot red. But then if you handed it to a bad guy and he shot it, it would shoot green.
Although the blaster bullets are always kind of like a pale blue, right?
That's only if they're firing stun bolts.
Wait, aren't all right. What about the one?
Some blasters have a setting like set because they at the very beginning of Star Wars, they say something like blasters to stun or whatever.
Right. There's one set for stun.
Yeah. But then if you flip it back to regular blaster bolts,
kill.
I'm just
what
gonna.
color are those?
Well, the ones behind me on my backdrop are clearly red, but that is non-canonical. Because if you look, Darth Vader also has like a hand guard at the end of his hilt, and his lightsaber is kind of orangey.
Orange.
Yeah, I get.
But we'll do some research. We'll figure it out.
And Han Solo is basically like shooting a blaster that is a lightsaber.
Kind of, yeah. Well, it's the gun that shoots lightsabers. We finally made it, everybody.
Look, it's on that tapestry.
The answer was inside me all along.
Now I'm picturing him being like a tiny person holding a giant, like a human-sized lightsaber. He's only like 2 feet tall or something. Well, that will wrap up minute 117. Liz, you've hosted podcasts in the past. What else can people track you down on?
Well, there's 96 episodes of Mean Girls Minute. And if you visit moviesbyminutes.com, there's a strong chance that if you just randomly pick one of those, I will have appeared on at least one episode.
There needs to be a podcast database that tracks all guests. There is one?
But you have to do it yourself, I think. I don't know. I have not put the effort into that. You
have to enter in your stuff yourself?
Yeah, it's like IMDb, but you enter it yourself, I think.
Oh, okay. But it's not like, I'm a fan of this person and I can go and see all the appearances of so-and-so. It might not.
Yeah.
It's up to
basically, that's just my Mean Girls Minute Twitter. All it does is retweet my guest appearances. So that's the best way to find.
That's a good way to do it.
My specific episodes.
Right. Yeah.
Is that I've retweeted the link to the episode.
And of course, we are all waiting. Wait a Dune minute should be any day now, right?
Yeah, any day now. Each time the studio pushes back the release of the new movie, we push back the release of our podcast, which is definitely happening. It's definitely a thing. It's definitely recorded.
And you refuse to do anymore if they're just going to release it on HBO, right? That's your current stance.
I mean, my hands are tied. I haven't seen it. I will be watching that movie 1 minute at a time, so I can't even do pre-work.
Right. Yeah. Well, Pete and I also have also done other podcasts. We both were on the podcast Alphabetical together, where we went through all the Beatles podcasts. And I co-host
all the Beatles podcast.
The Beatles podcast, sorry. The Beatles songs in alphabetical order from 12 to Y. I co-host the Godfather Minute with my brother. We go through the Godfather 2 minutes at a time. We completed part 1. We are now on part 2.
Wait, you're doing the Godfather part 2 2 minutes at a time? You're doing the Godfather part 2 1 minute at a time.
Why didn't you tell us that 20 weeks ago when
That
we
would've been
started it? You would have saved us half the time. But we're already committed, so 1 minute at a time it is.
Sorry.
Pete, where else can people hear you?
I also do a show called ABCDTOS, which is taking a little bit of a summer break, but by the time you hear this, it'll be back soon. And it is going alphabetically through all the episodes of Star Trek, the original series, from the same people that brought you ABC Devo. We're going alphabetically through all the Devo songs. And I've also, as has Alex, we've guested on a handful, probably not as many as Liz, but a handful of the other Movies by Minutes shows. So,
yes. And we do not have. I guess you could check our Twitters. Maybe I'm assuming we've tweeted about them, but
we've guested on not as many as we would like, but more than we remember. So,
all right. And you can also find us on the next episode of Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.